Hey, everybody. All right, it's me with a special episode and a very executive decision I had to make for this one. So there's a weird glitchy thing that happens sometimes so I just have been screen recording these, obviously, and then I edit the videos like in shot. Well, sometimes when I do a screen recording, something happens to the file that corrupts it somehow where it will eventually play, but it's really glitchy. It takes like a long time to load. It's really glitchy. It's weird. And at first I thought it was like because it was uploading it to the cloud, and then it was what happened when I was trying to do things when I was offline or something. But that's not it. And I Google and Google and I cannot find a workaround for this. But what happens is when I put the videos into InShot, I can edit them and they will eventually render into completely normal seeming usable videos, but it takes forever. So like normally it takes like 2 or 3 minutes to export a 30-minute video. If it's one of these weird corrupted videos, it will take hours. So I don't want to go through that, but I also don't want to lose what I said as my commentary and everything. So I still have the original videos. I also don't want to re-record them because I kind of found myself in this strange conundrum of I could re-record them, but I like the organic, like off the cuff feel. Like there was a couple videos early on that I was re-recording because of certain things that I then later ended up not caring about, like using my real name and stuff like that. And it kind of loses some of that authenticity and like some of the color commentary, right? And so like I don't want to kind of like go against the integrity of the project by not having the color commentary on the videos and stuff. But I just can't stomach waiting hours for these videos to render. And so this is the workaround that I came up with. It's only 4 episodes that ended up like this. And so I'm going to just, in this video, have just the text available. If you're really that interested, you can just read the text without the color commentary. But I still have those videos so that if at some point, like if this were to become that popular or people were intrigued by it or whatever, then I'll go through the painstaking motions of actually exporting those other videos. Because like I said, I can't even play them. Like it's not like I could just like re-screen record while playing with them through on the phone because like their playback from the jump is messed up. So that being said, I'm gonna just leave it like that for now so that I can move on because as I've mentioned in several of the ending videos, like I'm kind of tired of this. Things have gotten really repetitive and whatnot. But the thing that I thought was kind of interesting, and I'm kind of taking this as like a sign for the universe or something from the universe kind of situation is in the spirit of the Fight Club conspiracy theory angle of this story. There's this part of me that's like something I said or something that was in those journals is problematic somehow. Like I said, we're going to just take this on some weird supernatural faith journey because it makes life fun, right? And I'm just going to say, for the sake of argument, that the reason those videos are fucked up is because there's something in them that isn't necessarily supposed to be put out there just yet, or if at all ever, or something to that effect. They are actually pretty interesting or very I guess you could say like pointed stories, almost like just metaphorically speaking. It's like if you were working on a cold murder case and you come across like a piece of evidence that was suppressed, and you're like, why didn't anybody think this was important 20 years ago? Like there are stories and like elements that seem almost like they're the murder weapon that no one could find, or like what's some of those like episodes of those crime procedurals when it's like they finally go back years later and they finally find the rogue bullet casing from the bullet that actually struck the victim, and oh, this is really the guy that killed him because that bullet came from so and so's gun. Like that kind of stuff is like the weird intuition that I'm getting about these. And I know that sounds far-fetched and crazy, but I'm like, you know what? Life is kind of boring. It's like, boredom can be challenging too. And so I'm just going to choose to err on the side of intrigue and say that there's something about these four stories that is either just important or whatever. Anyhow, so that's enough about that. So this is just the introduction to this, and so after this, I'm going to just put the text so that you can at least read the text if you're really that intrigued by it. And then, like I said, if at some point this were to actually get really popular, then I'll take the time to sit back and wait for it to render the videos. So anyway, I know at some point I did talk about how I ended up getting out of the situation, and because I don't know if it ended up being in one of these videos, and then also just in the essence of closure. Here is the story of how I ended up being able to leave. So basically, like every month, he would go pay his phone bill because he would actually go to AT&T and T and pay it in cash. So when I finally found a place, in order to go look at places and stuff, I had to like say I was going to doctor's appointments and stuff, which I was, but then after the doctor's appointment was over, I would go look at an apartment and stuff like that. And so I got my place all situated and ready to go. And then I got him to go to Kailua on the other side of the island to pay his phone bill so that I knew that he would be gone for an extended amount of time. Over the course of like the 6 months leading up into this, I slowly cleaned out my stuff and packed it up so that I would be able to just like grab, a couple Rubbermaid containers in my backpack and my suitcase and just leave. And that's how I ended up getting out of there. I left behind a resignation letter, the key to the apartment. Or the key to the building. I mailed the key to the apartment back to him, certified mail, and also left evidence that I had removed all of his debit card information from my DoorDash account. And like other than that, but like basically tied up all of the loose ends. After the fact, he repeatedly emailed me, tried to call. At one point, he left like a butt dial sort of voicemail, um, tried to get in contact with me through going over and bugging my friend at work. Um, and that whole night tried to add me as a friend on Facebook, tried to message me on Facebook, and all of this stuff. Finally, after like a handful of months of this, I finally just broke down and I sent him an email back that just said, I said everything I needed to say in my resignation letter. I'm not coming back to say goodbye. I'm not coming back to collect my stuff. Leave me alone. And he wrote back along the lines of like, if you hate me so much, then why didn't you just tell me, this, that, and the other? And so I know that I've mentioned several times throughout this, like I never could understand why he ever thought we were friends because the way that he acted was so shitty that it was like, why would anybody like someone that treats you the way that you treated me? But also sometimes like people don't necessarily realize like this is the thing like I said like with abusers and abusive people in general a lot of times like and this isn't to be an apologist about it or anything, it's more just being objective about it, as they genuinely don't understand that their behavior is that bad. um, and or that if you were to say like you take things too hard or you take things too personally or like you take everything the wrong way or like nobody's saying this to hurt you and stuff like that, but at some point you have to kind of step back and take in the feedback that people are giving you and actually you know figure out how maybe people are giving you accurate information about yourself, right? Like I said throughout this with him, that I was by far not the only person that saw him for what he truly was. So anyway, all that being said, I'm just going to bring this to a close. I'm now going to just present the additional, like the missing, just the documents of the missing episodes, and I'm going to move on to actually doing the audio version of the book, and then the audio version with color commentary while playing space. So moving on to phase two, this is officially finished as soon as I upload this video, and moving right along. So thanks for listening, watching, hoping you continue, or you have been, and that's how you come here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.